Yesu Radio. Nandi Gupiwe Amanda Ngwadziba, that's definitely Lady P to you. This is Chiloge Sat Bangalagis Manalo Oluhliwano Ndlebe, specifically Namhlanje because it is a Wednesday. And on the invasion, we have that feature that says Financial Wednesday, whereby we talk about anything that has to do with money, anything that is also business orientated. That is what we're definitely all about. Now, today we are joined by Luphumlo Joka. He is the Director of Global Leadership Consultants. Now, we all know that South Africa's unemployment rate remains one of the highest globally, with the youth unemployment alarming above, in fact, 40%. In such a climate, the need of innovation, entrepreneurship, as well as behold leadership has never been more urgent. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the invasion listeners, we definitely are welcoming Mr. Joka. How are you doing today?
Lady P, a very good afternoon to you and your listeners at home and the viewers on Facebook and YouTube. Doing very, very well. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I feel so privileged to be on this platform.
All right, now let's definitely get into it. Firstly, man, I'd just love to hear from you, Bangabike, who is Mr. Joka, as well as how did GLC come about?
Well, Luphumlo is just a young lad from Middleburg, Cape. Middleburg is one of the smallest places in the Karoo. Started this business around 10 years ago, so we're actually celebrating 10 years this year. Global Leadership Consultants, which essentially is an enterprise development and leadership development firm. And we've been privileged in the past 10 years to have done some work with clients in the banking sector. We work directly with small business owners. We work with clients in the nonprofit sector. We work with government clients. So we've been privileged to have done work in the ED space and in the leadership development space with a broad variety of clients.
All right, first things first, congratulations to the 10 years. I hope there's going to be an anniversary or something that we're going to be doing so that, the invasion can invade. Hint, hint.
No, the invasion must definitely invade, Lady P. So I think our team will keep you posted.
Stunning. Now, South Africa, as I did mention even at the beginning with the intro, faces a daunting unemployment crisis, especially amongst the youth. Now, from a leadership as well as a consultancy perspective, what role do entrepreneurs play in shifting this narrative?
I mean, when you talk entrepreneurship, you're talking about people that go against the norm, right? That go against the odd. They get up, they start something, they weather the storm, they go through many difficulties. But essentially, these are job creators, So the large majority of the jobs, even in the National Development Plan of government, will have to come from entrepreneurs and businesses, not necessarily government. So re-looking at entrepreneurship becomes essential, and not just as a plan B, but a plan A, because a lot of us look at entrepreneurship as plan B. If my studies don't work out, if I don't get a job, then I can fall back on my side hustle. So there's a lot that we need to demystify in terms of our businesses being side hustles and all of these things. And we really, really need to build solid businesses that can last and businesses that we can pass on to our children and our children's children.
All right, today, kind of the point that you're actually highlighting of actually building solid businesses and not just doing it for the sake of, just starting a business. Now, you've worked extensively within the leadership development. Now, what key traits or mindset shifts do you believe are critical for someone looking to unlock and act on a business idea in today's economic climate?
You definitely have to be someone that has a certain level of resilience. You definitely have to be someone that is naive to a certain extent. You definitely have to be someone, that is agile. Agility for me is important. You definitely have to be someone that is resourceful,
Yes.
Because here's the other thing, Lady P. Majority of people that walk through our doors say to us they are looking for funding in order to start their business, which is an immediate red flag, So really, entrepreneurs should be people that are able to be resourceful and to start with what they have. Then if they are funded by whatever institution, that becomes an add-on and a boost to to the business to make it more profitable and to grow it. So you're looking at a combination of someone that is resourceful, strategic, that has strategic foresight, someone that can work well with people, because I think that's one of the most important, your ability to work with people, your ability to serve people, your ability to lead people, your ability to inspire people. So it's a combination of all of these things.
All right. Now, many individuals have promising business ideas, but never actually acted on them. I think I'm actually one of those. Now, what are the top barriers that you have observed within your work, as well as how can aspiring entrepreneurs actually overcome them? These business ideas, like I mentioned, I'm one. I think I've probably had like 10, and I just forget about them. And also at times, I never put them actually in the black and white.
Fear of the unknown, I'm sure now you are scared of just stepping out, because entrepreneurship is almost about, especially the first 5 years, because research tells us that a lot of businesses fail within the first 5 years. So those first 5 to 10 years are the difficult years. So in most instances, people are scared of the unknown, and they're scared of the what if it doesn't work out, what if what if, and so the something I referred to earlier on is you've got to then have that thick skin that enables you to just pierce through all of those doubts and all of those thoughts that sort of cripple you, because in most cases you are crippled by your own thoughts and your own fears and your own insecurities and your own self-doubt and all of those things, but this is what I want to say to the question. There's a difference between an entrepreneur and a business person. And that's one of the things that I speak about. So 2019, we published this book on leadership and entrepreneurship called The Ultimate Leadership. And the essential difference for me, Lady P, is that entrepreneurs are often people that are able to build something from scratch, and business people are often categorized as people that they don't necessarily have to build anything from scratch. They just do business for the sake of doing business. So I think that distinction then should, because there are people that think that they're entrepreneurs, but they're actually not entrepreneurs. They're either self-employed people or they're just business owners. So those distinctions, are important.
All right. You're an author. Can we expect something anytime soon, by the way? Kondi Pekai.
Well, we're always cooking, Lady P. I'm sure now Ziko knows Pekai. We're always cooking. I mean, there's a book that we've been working on now for the past 2 years on how entrepreneurs, particularly in the business consulting space, can scale up their operations. So it just talks about how you can build a solid business and how and which methods and what methodology you can use to attract business in the Eastern Cape and in other parts of the country.
All right. Now, with my next question, I love how you've answered the previous one, talking about Landutiba. For the next 5 to 10 years, the business yako, will it actually sustain or will it just go down the drain? Now, starting a business, I know, is definitely one thing, but sustaining it is definitely another. Now, what fundamentals should an entrepreneur have in place to ensure longevity in terms of, long-term success?
The most sad thing, Lady P, that we see, particularly in our townships, is, and I think I wrote a bit about this in the past few months, and it was very controversial, is we see a business is so damkhulubetu and our parents and those buildings, those butcheries, those bazaar shops. If you see the state of those facilities, you'd be shocked at how many businesses just haven't passed the test of time. So to answer the question, business systems is essentially important in any sustainability of any business. You've got to have the proper systems in place, right? Number two, obviously, you've got to have the right product, whatever product or service it is. Sometimes, you're just selling something that people are not they don't really need, and they're not willing to pay for. So the right product, the right systems, there has to be an element of demand for what you're providing. And you've just got to be patient as a person. Rome wasn't built in one day. There are very few businesses that just become an overnight success. And that's the other
Mm.
thing. We don't build with patience, Tina. We build expecting an immediate return.
Yes.
And then we build, and then we kill our businesses because we take too much out of our businesses. Then our businesses become businesses that must always receive funding in order to stay afloat. And that an analogy for me is a business like that is like it's like a business that's in ICU. So logo, you must pump state funding into it in order for it to stay afloat. So I'm not sure if that answers your question, but definitely business systems is at the top of my list. You must
Mm.
systemize your business so that if anything happens to you, your business can live on. It must be passed on to the next and the next and the next generation.
All right. You're so passionate about what you're doing. Like, I'm just listening to you now. I could have this conversation going and going. We're joined by a polar man, City and Ubangabege, Global Leadership Consultants Pty Ltd. Onwards as well as upwards. Great insights, fruitful conversation. Thank you so much. As well as I see we also have Ubudum Teza also joining us. When you get up now, let's definitely look at GLC once more again. Global Leadership Consultant focuses on strategic leadership. Now, in your view, what does it look like at a grassroots level in townships, your rural areas, as well as amongst first-time entrepreneurs?
People are struggling, Lady P. People are struggling, and for most people, they do business because they want to put food on the table. They want to feed their families. So, the picture for me in the spaces that I am in is not a good picture. But what I can appreciate is that there's a high level of resilience. And, that's just one thing about South Africans. I'm not sure if you're still there. I've just
No, I'm
lost
still
contact.
here, but I just want the focus on you. I'm still here.
But there's a high level of resilience. What's missing for me is innovation, particularly in the townships, grassroots entrepreneurs. The innovation when it comes to businesses, I feel, is not quite there. In the past year or so, I think we've worked with over 200 to 300 entrepreneurs from across the Eastern Cape. Majority of them are doing the Me Too type of businesses. What are the Me Too type of businesses? Catering, security, car wash. It's those basic things that everyone else can do. And there are very few entrepreneurs that we've come across that are innovating and that are building something unique. Yeah.
Now, looking at GLC this year, what can we expect? We are within 5 months into the year. What is next? What's going to be coming?
We're obviously celebrating 10 years of existence. So we as a business also are redefining who we are in the market. We've got an office in PE, in East London, in Humansdorp. There's one in Humansdorp that we just opened. And we're currently working with about 10 entrepreneurs that are funded there by the Kocha Wind Farm Community Development Trust. So it's a very interesting program. We just wrapped up an enterprise development program in Kookhouse, where there are about 10 entrepreneurs that were also funded by Kookhouse Wind Farm. So for us, I think what you can look out for is deeper impact. We are refining our tools, our methodology in how we help entrepreneurs. And we want to be the best in the game in the province. We want, when people think of entrepreneurship development, they must think of global leadership consultants.
All right, beautiful. And as we're definitely closing it, any last words from your side?
Look, an encouragement to anyone listening, anyone watching who is interested in starting a business. Number one, start with what you have. It's a cliche saying, but it goes a long way. Don't look past all of those imaginary excuses that you have in your mind. No, I'm waiting for when I'll have money. You'll never have that money. I'm waiting for when the environment will be right. The environment will never be right. So entrepreneurship is just about jump in, but jump in with that sixth sense, follow that gut. There is that thing that you'll have, Lady P, where's businesses that you're thinking about that will tell you now it's time to push. So I'd like to say to all of the viewers and listeners, jump in, do your research, focus on one thing, until you get that one thing right, and then diversify at a later stage. A lot of people I meet do 10 things at the same time, and they then fall into the trap of staying at the same place. So focus on one thing, do it well, build a solid clientele base, let the business run itself, then move on to the next. Be more strategic in that way. But I wish everyone that's listening to this all of the best. We've got some resources on our website. If they need free tools on business management, financial projections, they can always go to the website and look at those.
All right. And also, could you just kindly give us that website, as well as where can others definitely find you, even on social media, because social media is definitely a powerful tool.
Yeah, we're on all social media platforms: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We've got a nice YouTube channel with lots and lots of content. In fact, we've got a podcast that's there where we've spoken to some of the best entrepreneurs in the province, including Mr. Ken Clark that built Twizzler and other entrepreneurs. So there's good content there. So the website is www.globalleadership.co.za, www.globalleadership.co.za, and you will find all of the information there.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Joka, for joining us, and we wish you a great day further.
Thank you for having me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Joka, who is the director of GLC, which is Global Leadership Consultants, and also the head office is in PE. But they also do have one office that is definitely here in East London, when you can say Human Stop. And what an insightful as well as an interesting conversation, I definitely have to say. And to all the young ones out there that definitely want to be within his shoes, all I can say is that definitely follow him on his personal, even social media pages. That is where you'll even find the encouragement as well as find the motivation. And also those that have been asking me personally, are there any job opportunities? You know the right thing to do. Definitely follow and see what will be happening on that side. But ladies and gentlemen, let's definitely keep the conversation going on 066 137 2723.